You're listening to 50% Facts,
the show where we try to answer specific questions on an individual topic, and then at the end we bring in an expert to give you the real answers.
I'm Jim McDonald.
And I'm Mike Farr.
Welcome to our show. Yeah, and I wish I had another screen or two, to be honest.
Yeah, wait, a full Twitch setup is dual or 3 monitors, and then you got a vertical somewhere, right? Didn't you have a vertical?
That one turns into a vertical.
Then you go vertical because you got to read chat. You literally look like what was that movie that's highly underrated? Grandma's Boy? Grandma's Boy?
Mama's Boy?
No, I think it's Grandma's Boy. Is it, Connor?
Yeah, that's what it's called. If that's the movie, I think.
I don't know.
Who's in it?
It's old, like 90s. I don't even know who's in it, but it's like the gaming movie. It's kind of like a stoner gaming movie where one of the it's a group of friends. It's Grandma's Boy, I believe. A group of friends are all video game designers and programmers. And one of them, something happens, or he lives with his grandma. And then there's like one lead gaming guru who's just like you'd recognize all the faces from it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if any of them have like big names, but they're all like recognizable, like characters. They're all kind of like C-list celebs.
Oh, Linda Cardinelli.
No idea, but I
90210.
See, never seen it.
Okay,
but I know it.
First 90210. I don't know who the rest of these people are, to be honest.
But if you saw him, I swear, if you see the movie, you're like, oh yeah, that guy's in this and that guy's in this.
Kevin Nealon.
Kevin Nealon's big.
Nick Swartzen.
Jonah
Hill.
No, oh yeah, Jonah Hill plays kind of a smaller role, and it's young, fat Jonah. But like the main designer, they make him into like he is really weird, but they make him into like a Darth Vader type character, even though it's totally real. But they'll go into his office and he like spins around in a chair, and he's got 100 monitors, and then he's like, "Now leave me, I must design." And then he has like a lazy boy that rolls back, and you roll back in the lazy boy, and the monitors follow him, so he's almost in like a horizontal position, but monitors are everywhere, and he's fucking nerding out.
Holy shit, that's crazy.
That's the dream. That's crazy. That's what I want to be when I grow up. That's like what I'm talking about. Yeah. Like you're in so there's gaming chairs, which are just nice, supposedly ergonomic chairs because you're spending a lot of hours in it. But these things, like they are kind of like lazy boys. You're probably at a 45-degree angle and just surrounded by monitors. And then like I just saw an ad for one on Instagram, and then there's like kind of like old school airplanes where the coffee tray comes out of the armrest.
Oh,
you would probably remember that.
Yeah.
I mean, some of you young cats probably don't. I'm old now, but it folds out. You open the thing and it folds out and flips out in front of you like a TV dinner tray.
Right.
That's where your keyboard goes, and then like there's a place for your controller. There's a place for your headset. Utility knife of video games.
That's awesome. Actually, it's kind of, for whatever reason, making me think of show on Broadway that I would like to see at some point called Dear Evan Hansen.
Never heard of it.
And it's about this guy who, in high school, socially awkward, whatever, and another one of his classmates commits suicide, and he pretends to have been really good friends with that guy, like best friends.
Yeah.
So he creates this whole like scenario to sell it to friends and family and the other guy's family and stuff.
Not like morning jealousy or something. It's like a real thing. I think maybe, I don't know. Oh, God damn it. God damn, the name of this podcast is correct.
It's always 50% facts.
I think it's like morning jealousy or like something like that.
Penis envy.
It's very similar, except when people die. And I went through it when my best friend died, and I was just talking. You met Mike Sean.
Oh, survivor's guilt.
Maybe. No, that's like war. Right?
Well, it doesn't have to be.
Oh, no. It's more like just exactly what you talked about. So, like, best friend passed away when I was 18. We just graduated high school. You met Mike Sean. It's basically like my little brother. He was close to him. And obviously his older brother, we were all best friends. And we remember around that time. And we couldn't say it then because we were 17, 18, and we don't really get it. But, like, as adults, we're like, yeah, bro, like, so-and-so's, like, acting like they're so close to Jared. And, like, Hey, he didn't even like you. Like, you guys weren't even friends, you know? Like, everyone's doing like, oh, yeah, remember that one time? Like, yeah, you only hung out with him one time. Like, yeah, you remember that one time. But everyone's acting like everyone wants to get involved, and everyone mourns in their own way.
Right.
Everyone's
Right.
emotional, whether you're really close or even semi-close. It's sad when someone passes.
Right.
But
Right.
everyone's coming out of the woodworks acting like, oh, yeah, we had kind of like a secret friendship. Or like, I don't think so, dude. Like, I was at his house every single day. And
I never saw you.
Yeah,
Where were you?
You were never there. And even if you were, he didn't want you there.
Where are you? Well, I go back to my screen here. But my point is that, like the whole backdrop of this show is screens.
Oh,
and they're
that's
all
dope.
live.
That's dope. Is it of the show?
It's social media.
Oh.
It's chat. It's all sorts of stuff. It's a crazy. I've only seen pictures. I
sounds
haven't
cool.
seen the show.
That sounds cool.
But yeah, really good. And the other thing, actually, this is crazy. Another aside. Network was a movie in the 70s about a guy who was a TV newscaster
Yeah.
who lost his shit and went on and just, yelling and screaming and cursing, and I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. Like, go to the window, open the window, throw shit out the window and scream and stuff, right?
Yeah.
It turned into this ratings bonanza on the show, and the producers of the news like just rode this guy until he fucking died. Well, they made a play of it with Bryan Cranston
Oh, yeah?
from Breaking Bad
Yeah.
in that role.
Broadway type deal.
Yeah, Broadway, and they built literally a TV control room on set. So everything happens live as if you were watching it just
That's
on
sick.
TV.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Nuts.
Yeah. Broadway's insane. I've only been to one. I saw Book of Mormon. But like the money and production behind it, it's pretty insane considering that we've like stepped away from movies. We've kind of stepped away from TV. Everything's live streaming. And what I thought is we stepped away from theater as well. But there's obviously a shit ton of money going into these productions. I think the main guys are getting paid a lot. They're right. Wolverine, Hugh Jackman is taking roles over there. And some of it's probably to express his creativeness. And he's
I think he did theater before. So,
right.
Yeah.
But there's got to be money. Like, you're not getting that guy for a grand a show.
Yeah. No. I think if you're a top level person, for sure.
Like, you're getting some shit. There's a kid, he actually Twitches, plays video games. Jordan, I forgot. He's a Disney kid. Now he's old. I mean, he's probably 25. But he was a Disney guy. And then he was leader of Hamilton, one of the lead roles. Light-skinned black kid. I forgot his name. I think it's Jordan.
Oh my God!
whatever.
Like one of the original cast.
I think so, because he sings, he acts, he does his own music. But
Yeah.
he was Disney guy, now he's Hamilton guy, and now he's kind of everything guy. But he's like, B-list celebrity or whatever on Broadway is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, maybe the guy that plays Lawrence and Philip.
I never saw it.
Philip Hamilton. Yeah, we're going in June.
New York? Oh,
San Francisco. Yeah, it's the
That'd
same
be cool.
company that's playing
Yeah.
in Puerto Rico right now.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But the thing I didn't realize is that, speaking of Disney connections, at least two of the main cast were in Lion King on Broadway.
Huh?
The guy who plays George Washington and Angelica Schuyler.
Yeah.
They were both in Lion King on Broadway. That's another thing that's kind of happened, is that like those Disney movies that everybody loves have turned into stage shows that everybody loves.
And now they're returning in live
action movies.
Yeah,
that
they got that
everybody-
Aladdin coming with Will Smith and a bunch of people, which I'm a little hesitant about because I love Will Smith, but they're making him live action also.
Yeah.
So he just looks a little silly with the fucking like Egyptian looking beard.
You think it's going to turn into Kazam?
I don't know. That's what it kind of looked like in the poster. Did you see a picture of him?
Yeah.
Yeah, the picture just looks weird. And then I love Lion King, and that looked really good because it's like live action but not still. Lion King looked good, and we'll see. And then more late breaking news. Their streaming network's about to drop. That's
Yeah.
going to drop. I wish I could invest or do something. I don't know how, but that's going to be huge. I think that's the only chance to at least, because like there's Hulu and this and that, but I think that's the only chance to semi compete with Netflix.
Possibly.
They own everything.
They do own everything now, for
They
sure.
own everything, and then they already announced. And there's not only do they own everything, Netflix has done a really good job of building up from nowhere, right? Like Netflix originals now are legitimate shows that are people talking about.
Yeah.
I remember Netflix originals even 5 years ago, and they were absolute trash. No one watched a Netflix original, but Disney has already announced like spin-offs left and right. That's only going to be on this platform, right? Like a Yoda movie or a fucking whatever.
The Mandalorian.
Exactly.
Yes.
So they're going to do all these, and that might do I assume they're going to be at least decent. They're going to be entertaining. Whether they'll be great or not, I don't know. But there's fanatics. There's Star Wars fanatics. There's Marvel fanatics. Like everyone says, oh, I'm kind of a fan of. No, but like these are fanatics of Disney movies, Marvel, and Star Wars. So there's going to be money flowing around.
Yep, for sure. All right, so
topic of the day.
Let's get greasy. Let's talk about olive oil.
I don't know, man. Polyphenols is going to come up.
Okay.
I believe an antioxidant.
Okay. Sailing over my head, but yeah, I know. I use a lot of it. I use a lot of olive oil in cooking and stuff like that. I don't like chug it in shakes or anything like that.
People do that.
I know
though.
people do that.
For sure. Or like straight put it in a protein shake.
Yeah.
People talk about olive oil. Our guest today is my mom.
Awesome.
And so I make fun of her a lot because I feel like olive oil is a little bit of a buzzword.
Yeah.
Healthy fat, fucking polyunsaturated phenols and antioxidants and like, oh, you must cook with olive oil, not canola oil,
I remember years ago seeing people say that they were using EVOO. It's like, what the fuck?
No, that's
EVOO?
real.
Yeah, it's extra virgin olive oil.
Yeah,
but like
that she's on the EVOO panel or whatever. That's how they talk. I don't know.
And I have the question, calling back to an earlier episode, is using EVOO when you're writing a social media post,
okay or pretentious?
Is it familiar? Is it similar to CHO?
I think so. I think if you're writing EVOO anywhere, you're assuming the people following you
understand what you're saying.
You're so deep in it, right? Like that's the same with us talking about like RPE or something, right? If I write RPE, I assume that whatever amount of followers I have, at least 80% are on my page.
Yeah,
because that's what we talk about.
It's just jargon.
Yeah. I think people talk about olive oil highly though because of the healthy fats, less what is it, monounsaturated compared to polyunsaturated compared to blah 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 blah, less saturated fat in general compared to what many, and we're not going to go down this road, but the vegan argument against animal fats being less healthy for you than perhaps vegetable fats. But I think there's also arguments the opposite way from a bunch of carnivore type people.
Yeah, I kind of want to know. I know that like if you want an oil that tastes good, you're going to go toward an olive oil, and if you're just trying to cook and you don't like so much care, you might go canola.
Yeah, I wonder if that's a health thing or a price thing.
It's probably a price thing. I know that we have. My wife has like the salad olive oil that is not the cooking olive oil.
For sure.
Like our cooking olive oil comes from Costco.
Right.
You buy it in a big container, and I buy it there, honestly, not just because it's cheap, but because I read an article that said that UC Davis had done a bunch of testing of, the actual chemical constituents of the olive oil and trying to figure out where it comes from and how much of it is really olive oil and how much of it is actually good olive oil and all that stuff. And they did pretty well.
That's where I'm semi-biased on this topic, just obviously because it's my mom, and she's done this, I think, 7 years now.
Oh, wow.
I might be wrong. She'll obviously let us know. But there's a large amount of olive oil you buy in stores that's rancid.
Yeah.
Officially rancid.
Yeah.
And it's not even extra virgin, but they say that or something like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know the difference.
My question is rancid as in it wasn't stored well, or it's really old and was always going to be rancid, or
I think it's a manufacturing process. I think because I think it's pretty at least I think it's more niche because it's less consumed for fun compared to wine, and that's 100% my hypothesis. Wine's so generally fun consumed, so everyone's talking about and everyone, oh yeah, red wine, this wine, I'm a Chardonnay guy. Where olive oil is not spoken the same, but the process and the niche and the kind of pretentiousness of it is the same. Where like you have to, farm it, on the third day of the month or what. You have to be very specific with how you handle this stuff to make the best olive oil ever. Same as wine, how you grow it, where you grow it, how you what kind of metal you're holding it in between, whatever. So I'm pretty sure it's pretty exact science to make a really good olive oil, and I think by rancid it just means like certain type of taste or something, because I think, again, my mom will tell us, but I'm pretty sure she does two things. I'm pretty sure she is a sensory panel, which is what you're talking about at UC
Mm-hmm.
Davis, and that's kind of telling you whether it's rancid, whether it tastes like almonds, or whether it has a floral taste, or whether it has a whatever taste. And then she's also a judge. So she also, I think actually next week or something, very soon, she goes to LA. It's an international olive oil competition where people from all over the world send in their olive, and now they're judging it, saying this one's better than that one, this one tastes better than that one, this one's more pure or whatever. So I assume they do that in wine too, and probably regular food, where you're kind of judging. I like yours the best. I think yours is the best
these
tasting.
usually, blind testing.
Yeah,
Taste testing.
And then this one is more. I assume coffee is probably similar, actually. Now that we're drinking coffee, and then this other one's like, this one has an oaky taste, and this one has a smoky texture or some bullshit.
Yeah, I guess a question that I have too is, what about the ones that are infused with other stuff?
Yeah,
Like infused with rosemary, or
Lemon.
infused with lemon,
Yeah.
or I mean, I think I'm 50% facts. I think that if you are using an infused oil, you got to use it up pretty quickly, because you're adding something to it that could have bacteria on it or whatever, and it could go bad faster.
I think, and again, I don't know shit, but I think you're right with all olives. I think more olive oil goes bad quicker than we think too. We think like, oh, fat, just fucking screw it up and throw it in the thing. But I think it's, again, and this might just be my head, I think it's more like wine than we think. You know, like you have to preserve it in the right area. You have to no light or whatever.
Does it get better over time?
I think maybe in bottles, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah,
That's a good question.
But I think I definitely do think like once you pop that thing, like it's got an expired life for sure. Where some people, like you said, when you're cooking, you just could buy a freaking 12-gallon and just keep it in the thing.
Yeah.
And maybe it doesn't matter. But I don't know about taste either, because like it's like everything else. Until you start drinking coffee every single day, and you have Starbucks, and then you have Nest Quick coffee, and then you go have like a real local roaster coffee. Do you know, for a long period of time, do you even understand like, I like that, I don't like that, I like this because, and I'm no coffee connoisseur, but I drink a lot of coffee, so I at least know I like a lighter roast. I can tell that Starbucks tastes kind of burnt. I can tell that I just got this and it tastes fine. I can tell the caffeine content by how it affects me, or wine. Even though I drink an okay amount of wine, I still just know like, I like this, I don't like this.
Yeah, and you know, wine is weird too, because sometimes things that are cheap end up tasting really good and actually testing well.
Yeah.
You know, among people who don't know.
Yeah, I wonder if that has to do with
Or don't know what it is, I guess.
Yeah.
Don't know where it comes from, and they're like, oh, this is really good. And it's like, oh, well, it was, $3 chuck or
yeah.
whatever.
I imagine olive oil is the same, where it's supply and demand. Like, just because you're more likely, and these are 1,000% hypothesis, you're more than likely going to make a better batch when you're doing smaller batches, right? Because you can put more care and more thought into it, rather than going against Kirkland. But that doesn't mean that Kirkland can't make a good wine or a good olive oil.
Yeah.
They still might be able to, but on the mass production. But when you mass produce anything, it's going to be a little bit less quality, you'd imagine, or at least less specific than a smaller batch of something. Craft beer is super popular right now. Why? Because, this is the 2019, summer ale from whatever IPA.
Right.
This is going to, we really put attention to this, rather than just like, this is Budweiser. We made it by a 1 billion gallon batch.
Yeah. I think too. I think with beer, we'll talk. I keep getting offered beer people.
Yeah, I'm in.
That it's like craft beers are less likely to be hanging out a lot longer. People consume them.
Yeah.
If you go to the tap room, whatever, you're going to get stuff that's relatively new, because people drink it and it's gone. You don't have to wait. Flip that around. You're not going to get beer that's been sitting there for a long time, I guess. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's more like whatever, seasonal or yearly at least.
Yeah.
I don't know. Beer would be interesting too, because it craft beer in some senses, or IPAs or whatever, like kind of new. Like it's kind of like a flourishing industry in the scheme of things. Even though beer is probably the second thing humans ever drank once we drank water and started shitting ourselves.
Yeah.
And like, this water's not healthy, I must do something to this.
Yeah, water, beer, wine. Yeah,
Probably,
those are-
right?
Yeah.
Mead.
Yeah, it took a while before they started distilling spirits, I think.
Yeah, or learn how to clean water. You probably learned how to make alcohol out of it before we knew how to clean water.
Oh, probably so.
Yeah.
Probably so.
Montezuma's revenge. Drink beer in Mexico. That's the truth.
All right, what else we got?
I know absolutely nothing. My mom, like I said, we have conversations. She's like, oh, we tried this and we tried that, and that's all I hear. But it's the same thing. She probably think, like, if you interviewed her on strength and conditioning and what I do, like, she knows, like, tips. But on my own knowledge, I know nothing about olive oil. Everything I kind of know is just from dinner conversations with my mom.
Everything I know goes like this. What I said about the the Costco stuff being pretty good.
Yeah.
I know that some of it tastes different because I've gone by like olive oil sellers that they offer you, you get a little piece of sourdough bread, and a toothpick, and you dip it in, and you taste. Oh wow, that tastes different.
Yeah.
It tastes great or whatever. That's it.
Yeah, my mom literally just like drinks that shit. They don't even do bread or nothing when they're tasting it.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, I think they drink it like a wine.
So like that's a good question.
I think they taste it literally like wine, where they're like oxygenating it and they're slurping and they're spitting and they're gross. I don't even like olive oil really. Like if it's on a salad, I'm gonna eat it, or someone cooks like me and I don't even like it. I mean, I don't
like. What do you cook your vegetables in?
Steam them.
Oh, you just steam them.
I just steam them. Yeah, there's some things about me that are a little like old school bodybuilder-ish in a sense.
I roast a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I would do that. If I roasted them, I'd drizzle some olive oil or drizzle some something. But like, to be honest, I'd eat pretty plain or eat out.
Here's what I do. I lately, especially vegetables that take a long time to cook, I throw them in the microwave. I clean them, throw them in the microwave, and steam them for 4 or 5 minutes, something like that. Then throw them in a pan with a little bit of olive oil, toss it around, salt, pepper, whatever, and throw it in the oven for 10, 15 minutes, whatever, how long it takes at 425.
Yeah, get some texture.
Make them look a little bit caramelized.
Yeah, that's what my mom does.
It's amazing.
With cauliflower, I think a lot of olive oil and some kind of oven deal, and then they come out kind of like French fried crispy, even though they're still in like just regular leaflets. But that's pretty good. I think it's just for when I'm cooking for myself, I'm just impatient, so like I'll steam it in pot of water, and that's about that. Get it down. I don't mind vegetables, That's why I don't care. I'll eat raw broccoli. What do I care?
Yeah, me too. I don't understand people who don't like vegetables at all. I mean,
yeah.
And maybe it's a weird taste thing I don't understand. But like my son, Sam, can't eat cilantro because it tastes like soap.
I've heard
to him, and that's a genetic thing.
Yeah, I've heard cilantro is weird with some people.
And that doesn't bother me at all. Some people's pee doesn't smell after the asparagus. Mine does.
Yeah. Some kind of enzyme in your bladder, I guess.
So maybe they just have some kind of a genetic aversion to them, but like I don't have any problems with them.
Yeah, you wonder how much of that's nature versus nurture, because like you said, maybe your other son does like it or whatever. It's not.
I know he does.
Nurture
he
point,
doesn't have any problem with it at all.
My family was pretty good. We did eat a lot of junk food growing up, but like every dinner would be normal. Like every dinner would be like a steak, a veggie, and a potato or something. I don't know. Now we're getting off topic, but we'll get my mom in here, try to figure things out. Ladies and gentlemen, my mom, sensory panel, UC Davis, international olive oil judge. Don't quote me. My mom for 30 years. She was a teacher for 20 years, presented a lot of different places, and now she does a little bit of seminars and things with olive oil, travels the world judging them, telling you if your olive oil sucks or not, and hopefully we'll learn something.
All right, on with the moms. So actually, I have a question to ask you just like straight off the bat. What is it like having this guy as your kid?
Well, gosh, I'm not prepared for this question.
30 years has not prepared you for this?
No. He's really a really wonderful person.
I'm aware of that.
Yeah, he's a good human being. I loved having him as a toddler. In fact, I was just looking at some pictures. I would always carry him when he got tired of walking. I would carry him on my shoulders. Uh-huh. And his biggest thing was always to be stronger and faster. That was his thing. So we would be eating dinner. I'm talking when he was little, right? We'd be eating dinner.
No, I'm weak and slow.
This is last weekend.
What happened?
He would eat, whatever. And we ate a lot of spinach because my husband likes spinach. So and he'd be eating spinach. And will this make me stronger? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it will. And he'd buy new shoes and he'd come home and the first thing he'd say is, "Look, Mom, look how much faster I can run." He'd run up and down the hallway.
I got Sandlot. Did Sandlot make that a thing?
What?
Sandlot, the movie.
Yeah, made what?
Didn't the whole movie premise like an undergoing story to get like PF Flyers or something? They put them on and they're hecka fast.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds.
The movie's really.
It's been a while since I've seen that one. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's always been fun having him. He was always super excited about everything, super happy to do things. And then his teenage years, he was just great. I never had any problems with him. So, and now, well, he's my support. Aww. Yeah, he's really good to me.
No, well, I love Mike, and we've known each other for quite a while now. And like very early on, it's like, well, this would be somebody that I would want to work with.
Yeah.
Because he's easy and he's considerate, and we're going to make him blush in a second here.
I know. Oh, shucks. Yeah, 7-8 years or something, Jim.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a minute.
He's
yeah.
very loyal, and once you're a friend, he takes care of his friends. He's just a really good person.
Yep.
His dad was too, so I think he gets it more from his dad than from me.
What do you do, Mom?
Yeah. What do you do?
Well, I am an olive oil sensory panelist and a judge.
Okay. So is that two panelists and judges? Is that two different things?
Yeah, it is.
What do we got? What do they do? What's a sensory panel list?
A sensory panelist is a professional taster.
Okay.
So I belong to a panel. I used to belong to the UC Davis olive oil panel, and that panel dissolved. And the panel leader had her own company, and she just took us over to her company, and we continued the panel there. So I work now for a profit, although it's not my profit, but a profit for the company.
Somebody's making money.
Yeah.
We know what that feels like. Someone's making money. Not you?
What do you do on sensory then? What's the goal of the board or the panel?
So the panel, it's a very interesting thing. There's a lot of protocol and regulations. We have to be very careful, and there has to be a minimum of 9 tasting at the same time. We taste between 9:30 and 11:30. 9:30 is the target time, no later than that. And we sit in these little cubbies. We don't talk to each other, and we taste olive oil. And the reason why we do this, it's a blind taste, and we certify that it's extra virgin. So through smelling, through the aroma, and through taste, we can tell you if there's any defects. So a lot of people think, extra virgin. I always thought extra virgin was just this wonderful oil that came from Italy with the stone mill, and it just meant it was the first oil that was crushed, but that's not it.
Your dreams got shattered.
Yeah, extra virgin is the condition of the oil. So if there's no defects at all in the oil, then it's considered extra virgin.
So where do the defects come in? The manufacturing process or storage or just anything?
A lot of different things. So it can be through the milling process. It can happen after it's been milled, through storage, and it can happen in the bottle itself.
What happens to oils that are defect? Do people sell them and eat them or drink them?
Yep.
Oh, so it's still the same. You just buy non-virgin olive oil?
You just don't know that you're buying a non-virgin.
So you're just it's just olive oil.
Yeah, so extra virgin is when there's absolutely no defects, 0. And all 9 of us in the panel have to agree with this. And we don't know because the panel leader is the one that's getting all the stats, really.
So you're blind voting.
Yep.
Okay.
And then if there's a little bit of a defect, then it's considered virgin, labeled virgin. And then if it's beyond that, then it's called lampante or crude, which is lamp oil, not fit for human consumption.
Whoa.
Yeah, so what's a defect? Like arsenal or like...
No, the defects aren't that bad, but the biggest defect is rancidity, and then there's this fustiness, which can be fermented olive or an olive that's been stored and there's muddy sediment or...
Muddy meaning literally dirt?
Muddy meaning that there's no, it's more like olive particles. It could be dirt. It
Like
could
skin
just,
of an olive or something?
Yeah,
Just like particulate kind of? Okay, like with wine.
and it could be water. Yeah, it's like wine. And then there's others. There's musty, there's frozen. And I actually like the taste of a frozen olive oil because it's kind of sweet. It tastes a little bit like vanilla sometimes, but it is considered a defect. And so here's the trick. The trick is that all bottles say extra virgin. There are very few that say virgin or pure. Don't ever buy pure because pure just means it's bad. if they couldn't put extra virgin on their label, it's been refined probably. So.
Are you guys the regulators then if they can put that on the bottle or not? Or is there no real regulation and that's the issue?
Well, that's a big issue. Their regulations are just starting. In 2014, a new law came out where olive oil, the larger producers had to have their olive oils tested. And we, in fact, got the contract this year at my company that I work under. And so we're testing all the large, like California Olive Ranch.
Kirkland or some shit. No.
I don't know if we'll do Kirkland because they're not really producers. They buy oils and
They repackage.
Yeah,
I
like white
think
label.
so. But like the bigger producers here in California, so that's what we're doing. But just because it says extra virgin on the label doesn't mean what you're getting is extra virgin.
So how do you know?
Right? How do
Like
you know?
which one do you pick?
That's what got me so crazy over this. That's why I got so involved in olive oil tasting because I bought olive oil all my life and I thought I was buying good oil and I wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
So there's certain things that you have to look for. The easiest thing is to find it's a little stamp. It's either a sticker or it's on the actual label, and it says certified extra virgin. It has the year on it. And here in California, I've only seen two. I've seen ours, Applied Sensory, and the COOC, which is the California Olive Oil Council. And that you see that one a lot. So those are the two, and they're just teeny tiny, like penny large, size of a penny. And then you know that that's been tested and it is extra virgin. But if the store owner has one that's been there for 2 years, kind of in the back or in the sun or heated, then the stamp doesn't mean anything because it's
not been stored right.
It's
so
been it's rancid.
That goes to another question. It's not like wine then.
No.
Is there a time expiration on
Yes.
all of olive oil?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So it doesn't get better with time.
If it doesn't have a little certificate and you know a little stamp or sticker and you really want to buy that bottle, then you look at the harvest date or you look at
They put that on the bottle?
a lot of them do, and they're doing it more and more. But you got to be careful because best used by is a 2-year period. So if it says best used by 2019, that means it was harvested in 2016. It's too old. You don't want a bottle that's older than a year. So you want, if it's best used by today, I would be looking for a bottle that's best used by 2020. Or it gives you the harvest date. And so the harvest date for now, a good harvest date would be 2017, October, November 2017, or January of 2018, or January of 2019.
okay.
You only want it,
So the fresher the better.
the fresher the better. The fresher the better.
Is this for all applications? Because Jim was talking about he has olive oil that I don't even use olive oil, so that's why I'm using Jim as an example. Jim has one that he will maybe do salad dressings with, or he did
Yeah.
more pure, and then
Yeah.
one that he'll just cook his veggies in. And
Yeah,
who
you
cares?
can. You can buy less expensive ones for cooking, and then more tasty ones for finishing or for pasta, where you'll really
Yeah, or
taste
bread.
the oil or
Right.
bread dipping.
So, does it affect the nutritional content over time, or is it really the flavor the bigger thing, or?
Well, both, because the fresher the oil, the more polyphenols and antioxidants it has.
What the hell's a polyphenol?
Polyphenol is an antioxidant substance
Within olive oil, that's fair.
that's in your olive oil. Like one is oleocanthal.
Okay.
Oleocanthal is really a unique nutritional particle of olive oil. I don't know what to call it. I'm not scientific.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a molecule.
It's not a molecule.
All
It's
right.
it's part of the olive oil. And not too long ago, a doctor did a study, some research on oleocanthal, and he found out that oleocanthal has the same properties as Advil. It's anti-inflammatory and it will help with pain. The only thing is you don't have tons of it like you would in a little capsule
Right.
of Advil. But so all these polyphenols are antioxidant properties in the olive oil. So when we use olive oil, we use it for the taste and we use it for these good properties. So if you're buying olive oil that's old or rancid, it's not going to have the same.
What's your feeling about olive oil versus other oils?
Yeah, what's canola? Canola's bad.
Canola's bad. Yeah, so canola for the longest time, for many years was the olive oil.
Is that Crisco?
No, canola is rapeseed, not grape, but
rapeseed
rapeseed.
oil,
And
yeah.
it's rapeseed oil that's been processed. And anything that's been processed needs chemicals and heat. So what you have is nothing. You have no flavor and no nutritional value.
It's
On the
just-
contrary, you have negative nutritional value because it's full of chemicals and it's been processed with heat.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which is why when you see like a cold press
right,
olive oil, then that's a direction you want to go.
They all say cold press.
They all say cold press.
Just
you
a
know why they
buzzword.
say cold press? So you buy it.
So there you go.
Because now they have these wonderful mills that it doesn't matter. They are cold press automatically because these mills are state of the art. In the old days when it was a stone, and some people still do the stone.
Mm-hmm.
If you did the stone, you had to be careful that the day wasn't too hot, that the stone didn't make too much heat on the olive, because if the olive gets heated, then it gets fermented. If it gets fermented, your olive oil then is defective. It's called fusty.
So, are you ever looking for? You were talking a little bit before about other flavors that you're pulling out of it. Are you looking for those things in particular ever, or are you just happy when you stumble across them? Or
You mean as a sensory panelist or
yeah,
as a consumer?
Well, actually, tell me both.
As a sensory panelist, we have two different types of reports that we give to the producer or the bottler or whoever's requesting that we taste it. The first one is a simple one that will certify that it's extra virgin. We actually have to agree within a 1% of standard deviation. We all have to agree that it's extra virgin, that it has no defects, that how much fruit flavor is in there, how much is ripe olive, how much is green olive, meaning not totally matured olive, how much bitterness and how much pungency. We have to all agree on this. And that's the report that goes out. Then there's one that's a little more complicated where the producer wants to have some descriptors. So
That's your job, the same process of saying it's rancid or not?
Mm-hmm. This is what we do.
They pay you for that, right?
Yeah, they pay me.
Yeah. No, I mean like the
They don't
farm.
pay. Oh, the farm pays.
This isn't a process like, all right, I want to make an olive oil and sell it at Kirkland. I must go through this process to get here. This is more like, oh, I want these cool check marks on my bottle. I'm going to pay you guys $1,000 and you're going to make me sound cool.
Not even $1,000. It's
Okay,
not
whatever,
that much,
whatever.
But
You get what I'm
yeah.
saying.
It's not that much, really. So we sit there, and the second process is to really give descriptors. So does it taste like green almond? Does it taste like tomato leaf? Does it taste like artichoke? Does it taste like green olive, green apple, ripe banana, tropical? There's all these descriptors that we can mark and actually type some in if we want to, too.
So you can make it up?
If we taste something unusual, like cinnamon or chocolate. I've tasted some that taste like chocolate to me. And so I'll type it in. And if there's I want everything to taste like chocolate. If there's 2 or 3 people that agree, then she'll take that as a descriptor and she gives that to the producer, and then the producer can use that on their bottle as a description.
okay.
So that's why.
So when you're choosing a descriptor like that,
Yeah.
is it your first impression of it, or do you taste it and then taste back again to see if you're getting the same thing from it? Or?
Yeah, I have to do it. Everyone has their way, but I have to do it twice. The first one is more for the first thing, of course, is aroma, because there are some defects that you cannot get unless it's through your nose, and then it's taste. So we go through the first page, which is really about defects, and then once that's cleared, and we go phew, then we can do the good stuff like the pungency and the bitter, and then I usually sip again. Sometimes I sip 2 or 3 times to get the descriptors.
What happens if it's rancid? Do you still give descriptors, or is it like rancid, and then it's just like now you're in the shit pile?
Well, we do try to give some descriptors. Sometimes I can't. I mean, I just can't find anything good about it, but I try.
Tastes like dog shit.
Well, actually, there's some that taste like
Poop?
cat pee. Oh, I've had poop. I've had goat.
You've had poop.
I've had goat.
Mom, what are you
goat.
talking about?
Goat tasting goat poop.
How do you know what goat poop tastes
Pig,
like, Mom? How can you
pig,
describe?
Because I've been on a goat farm. Pig pen smells and tastes. We have those.
So like a really kind of a sharp smell, like a like it's hard. I can't really.
I've never
describe
eaten.
it, but
I've never eaten cat pee, Mom. I don't know.
No, well, cat pee is actually not supposed to be too much of a defect. It depends, but anyway, So you smell it and you go, oh my gosh, I don't want to put this in my mouth. Then you know. It's really-
Acrid was the word I was looking for.
Oh, acrid, yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, I think that guinea pig poop has got to be the most acrid smell.
Yeah.
It's just like,
yeah, like rabbits.
Is that like
Yeah.
ferret?
Yeah. I don't know.
I
I've
don't
never,
know.
I've never
I walked
smelled
through a
ferret.
mall in Portland, and ferrets are legal in Oregon. And when you get close to the pet store, you're just like, oh,
You
shit.
could smell?
Oh yeah, they smell so bad. I think it's the worst smelling animal I've ever smelled.
Yeah. Well, it's like that. It's really bad, and so you don't want to taste it, but you have to put it in your mouth. You just have to. You don't have to swallow. You don't have to ingest any of this. You can spit it out.
just like with wine or anything else that you're tasting. Yeah, that makes sense.
What's
Yeah.
the difference then with like judging? So you do sensory, you tell them they suck, you tell them they're good, and then you tell them if it smells like oaky cat piss. And then
Yeah.
what's the like a judging situation?
Judging is a little different. So when we sit down to do sensory panels, when we do the panel, we have a minimum of 9. We sit in little cubbies. We're very quiet. We try not to cough because, all those polyphenols, the antioxidants, when you sip, then you slurp, you get a little air in there, just like wine, except it's thicker. So you have to really, get that air in there. And then it coats your mouth and it coats the back of your throat. When it coats the back of your throat, it can make you cough if it's very pungent. If it's very pungent, it has a lot of qualities that you're looking for. So it might be a robust oil, and the point is we try to hold our cough in because we don't want everyone else
To be a signal to everybody else.
So you try to hold it in. I sometimes get it like tickling wrong.
So you could fake it through this whole thing. I feel like I could fake this whole thing.
No, because
I'm just listening for coughs. I'm listening for extra slurps. If people have to sip it like 8 times, then I know like, oh, this one probably sucks. They're really checking for some shit.
No, it's very, very complicated. We have a scale that's a 10-centimeter scale, so from 1 to 10, and we mark the scale for everything, for fruitiness, for ripe or bitter or pungency. All
Sounds
of
like
that.
a Facebook survey. I just guessed my way through the whole thing.
No, you wouldn't be able to guess your way through.
I'm gonna infiltrate.
My panel leader would kick you out.
I'm going to infiltrate.
So anyway, judging is different. So judging, we're sitting at a table usually of 4. There's a head judge, a table judge, and then 3 of us.
Yep.
And we sit there and we have. So when we do sensory, we do maybe 16 oils max. 12 is good. 16, 18 is beyond you can handle because you get tired. Your whole body gets tired. Your mouth gets tired. Everything gets tired. With judging, we might do 50 between 9:30 and 12:30, 1 o'clock. 50 oils, but we're not looking. I mean, we're looking for defects, obviously, but we're not looking to be specific on how much of each defect it has. We just taste it. If it has a defect, we go.
Yeah.
And then hopefully the whole table agrees. We discuss it. We will discuss it. And then if it's good, then, we rate it. We rate it by aroma, balance, and taste, the 3. We add up the score, and hopefully we're all kind of in agreement, or we take the average number.
And
just
you're
score
looking for the top 5, top 10, top by score.
Oh, well, we do, depending on where I'm at. I'm in the first week of February, I'll be down in L.A. at the L.A. International Competition, which is a real prestigious competition. It's in its 20th year, the oldest one here in California, in the United States, the oldest competition. So there we taste about, I think we taste about 150 to 180 oils in 3 days.
And do you just give them a score and then they're ranked 1 through 50, or do you have to say like this is the best one, this is the second?
Well, what we do is we give them medals. So there's a bronze, a silver, and a gold. And then of the golds, we might find 1 or 2 that are outstanding. And then we bring them back sometimes, or sometimes we can just hold them there and say, this is the best of this class. So we do best of class, best of show.
like a dog
that.
show.
Yeah, like that. And then when I do the California State Fair or Napa Valley or Yolo County, those are the 3 I tend to do. They're less oils. We're done in 1 day, and we usually have maybe 35
Just a local thing.
oils. It's more local. Yeah. But the LA one is 3 days. 3 days of tasting.
That's a lot of olive oil.
It isn't a lot of olive oil.
I'd
And what
puke.
happens is I don't spit well. You know, you can't ingest
Right.
50 oils.
No.
And you rinse your mouth out with water and with green apples, but you can't swallow all that either. So I'm constantly spitting in this cup, and I don't spit well, so I'm always rubbing my mouth with, this paper napkin.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the day, my lips are all sore, and your mouth really gets a workout.
Well, some of the
Yeah.
olive oils are probably like acidic or something too, right? Like your tongue probably gets all beat up. Like you even just eat a lot of anything, and like
Yeah.
you're like, oh, this just fucked up the roof of my mouth. Or,
Yeah, no,
tongue.
my mouth hurts at the end, and I usually have to eat a little something sweet. I don't eat anything. Well, I might have a salad. And I like coffee afterwards, but in the afternoon, I have to just try to coat my mouth with something, so I'll have something, usually chocolate. Chocolate's the key.
So when you're going into one of these experiences, you're just praying to not get a cold going into it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you probably get fucked.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because that just cuts off
Yeah.
so much of what you can experience.
Right. Oh, it's really hard. You don't want to get sick. That's why I'm always very, very careful. I'm always nervous about any of that because you don't want to.
Yeah, and if you're traveling, because don't you have friends
Right.
from like South America that come up to LA?
Yeah, this is international,
Yeah.
so there's about 15 of us. And we have people coming from Italy, New Zealand, Australia,
Jet lag,
Spain,
sickness.
Oh, yeah.
Chile, Argentina, all over the world.
Who makes the best oil?
Oh, everybody makes the best oil.
Well, like you said when you were buying, they're like, oh, Italy. Everyone buys olive oil from Italy.
Everyone buys olive oil from Italy, but I have to say that the Italian oil that you find in the supermarket, the one that you find massively produced, is not good. But the oil that won last year at the LA International was Italian. It was an Italian oil. It was a fabulous oil. It was really, really good. But I don't know all the oils because I blind taste.
Oh, right.
So I really,
So you don't know the label.
I know the ones I've tasted that I like. I have my favorites, but they're not necessarily all of them because I don't know.
So outside of evaluation, outside of competition, just ones that you have you use in your regular life. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, I like this one.
Yeah.
But you don't know whether you've encountered it before.
Well, no,
or you probably
sometimes
may
I
have.
do. Sometimes I know. But at the competition, you get the winners.
Oh, okay.
Usually, you might get best of show right away. Well, in the LA one, it takes a few days to get the actual list of winners.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I'll go. I always go back to see who they were, and maybe I can try to remember, or I purchased them, and if they're local.
Mm-hmm.
But LA's from all over, so we get them from everywhere, from South Africa to Greek to everywhere.
Jim and I made a reference to beer, like Budweiser versus like craft beer.
Mm-hmm.
Is olive oil kind of like that, where like you kind of said, mass produced, you don't know what you're getting, but maybe it's good? Are you better off going like local, smaller farm, or is that still could just be shitty?
Well, I always say know your farmer. Get to know your producer, because we have, 97% of the olive oil produced in the United States is produced here in California. We are it.
Wow.
And that's only like 4% of the supply and demand. We don't make enough to cover the demands of the United States. That's why we get so many imported oils. I always say go local if you can. There are many large producers that have really good oils. I would just make sure that if you're going to buy, I don't want to get in trouble for this, but
Are you going to say a name?
no.
Put them on blast, Mom.
No, but if you're going to buy an olive oil that's mass produced, I would definitely look for the sticker in the back and probably for a California oil. If you're going to get more of a boutique type oil, I would also get California. But if you want to venture out, then I would go more for a boutique oil outside of the United States. Those are hard to find. You can't find them anywhere here. You have to go to an importer or on a website or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, online you probably do anything now.
Yeah.
Probably so. And farm to fork, that's
Right.
like if you know where it's coming from, and you're probably getting it fresher. And
Oh, absolutely.
I feel like
that
that's not a thing though. Like that's why Sacramento's so on it. You go to Ohio, what the hell are you gonna do? Farm to fork stuff,
Well,
they have iron mills and fucking truckers,
I used to
donut stores.
no, but the major producers go out there The large producers here from California go out
I know,
there.
but farm to fork stuff.
Oh,
it's
farm
not
to
the same.
fork.
Like you said, get to know your
Yeah,
farmer. Like, what
no,
farmer are you going to
because
know in
really-
Detroit?
Right, really, they're here in California. There's some in Texas. Florida's trying to create some olive orchards, but it's not working too well. It's too wet down there for them. They like it a little drier.
It's probably
trees.
similar to wine, right, or grapes.
Yeah.
The climate to grow in.
Mhm.
So, like, who else does wine? Us, right?
Well, I mean, Oregon does
You know,
some.
yeah.
Oregon does wine, and they do a little bit of olive oil. And Washington does wine. But yeah, New York does wine, doesn't New York?
Upstate's probably too cold.
Upstate's too cold. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think it's too cold over
That's
there.
I'm not a
question.
wine expert.
Well, that's a question for another episode.
Our next wine
probably.
expert.
Yeah. So, aside from that, how do you feel about infused olive oils infused with other flavors and whatever, like basil or rosemary or
Yeah.
lemon or whatever? How do you feel about those?
We have to taste those in competition, and I don't mind tasting them to judge them. I don't like chili oils because I don't like spicy, but a lot of people love infused oils. I would rather put my own flavors in. So if I want garlic in my chicken, I'll just put garlic in my chicken with olive oil instead of an olive oil infused garlic infused olive oil. Now, having said that, I love lemon infused olive oil because I bake with it. There's a couple of recipes that I have that I like to put lemon olive oil to just enhance even the zest and the juice and that I'm putting in there, and my lemon extract that I make at home. So it's really lemony. And lime is also very good for cooking because you can pick up the lime flavor sometimes more when it's with infused oils. Generally speaking, whenever it's been infused, it should never be considered extra virgin because extra virgin is pure, right? So,
But pure is bad.
if the label says pure, it's bad. Don't get pure. Don't get light. There's no such thing as light olive oil. If you think you're going to get something that's low cal, you're wrong because it's a fat's a fat's a fat. But what they do is they mix it with canola so the flavor is not as strong. But the thing with olive oil is that olive oil is a fat, and fats enhance foods. I always tell people, so don't be worried if you have I bake with really robust oils, the kind that make you cough as you swallow them, and people they can't taste the bitterness and the pungency once you bake it because it infuses, it enhances whatever you're cooking. So. And can I make another point while
Absolutely.
we're at
You can do
about
whatever you
cooking?
want, Mom.
Oh, thanks,
It's
Mike.
your show.
Thanks, Mike. Oh, let's change the name. So, everyone has a problem with frying with olive oil because of the smoking point. And I don't know if that was the canola people who did that, but
Fuck those canola people, Mom.
no, gosh,
Those
don't
guys
get me in
suck.
trouble. Don't get me in trouble. But olive oil, its smoking point's about 400, 425
Okay.
degrees. And we usually fry at 395, 375, 395.
What are you talking about? Like French fries? Chicken?
Yeah. Whatever you want to fry. So people are afraid to fry with olive oil. They always get the canola, but actually there's no problem with frying. Canola has a higher smoking point, but you know why? Because it's been refined. So there's nothing in it.
Oh, there's nothing in it. Because actually, that's a question about grilling.
Oh, yeah.
Like I tend to coat with olive oil, meat with olive oil, and then throw like salt, pepper, whatever. I'm pretty basic about how I grill stuff. I don't put a lot of extra stuff on. Maybe I'll throw I have rosemary in the backyard. You get a couple of snips of that. Throw it like under the meat on the grill. Just get a little bit extra, whatever.
Yeah.
But I have always heard like, oh no, the smoking point is wrong for grilling.
What's a
And
grill temperature? Do we know?
on the
400?
outside, yeah. I mean, it can go higher than that
Yeah.
for sure.
But ish.
4 something to 5
Yeah.
something, depending upon how long you want to leave it on there.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Red meat, I never go 500. That's really high.
It's really high. Depends on
450 is kind of high, too. I
Yeah.
try to keep it between 375 and 400 if I'm grilling, right?
Yeah, every once in a while, I will have walked away from my grill.
Oh, yeah.
And
Turns
then
up.
it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
hot.
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
different, though.
Yeah. When you get a lot of extra heat when you're not expecting it, and then everything's done faster than you contend.
And the inside's a little raw
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah,
I
sometimes.
know.
Or you get like, 80% of the cooking done on one side.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do that.
Yeah. I don't like that.
Just remember to flip
So
over.
olive oil, barbecue, olive oil.
Barbecue.
Fried French fries.
Yep.
Why
frying,
don't they do that in restaurants?
Because it's expensive.
Yeah.
So restaurants usually have big, large containers, and sometimes they have like an 80-20 mix. So it's 80 olive oil and 20 canola. And here I may get in trouble again, but a lot of chefs, I have found that a lot of chefs don't really understand olive oil. They don't know what a good olive oil is. It's not something that has, this is fairly new.
Well, it's just how it goes. You can't be an expert at everything. Like doctors, everyone goes to their doctor to learn about nutrition and exercise, and they spend a week in med school on nutrition.
That's true.
Like a doctor knows how to tell me if I have strep throat
Right.
or if I need to get an X-ray,
Right.
or if I'm fine. That's the three things they know.
Right.
They don't know whether how to exercise, how to
Right.
move properly, why I have back pain. They don't know those things.
See, I started with olive oil about 10 years ago, and it's been the past 5 years that it's really been brought out in the open and talking about good oils and bad oils and Italian oils and this oil and that oil. And so I don't think it's becoming more and more popular in the culinary institutes, but they really don't teach much about olive oil. So I don't think many chefs know. They use it, but they it takes years really to get your palate.
My one of my brothers-in-law is a chef, and I just know he uses a whole lot of olive oil.
Oh, does he? I wonder what he uses. Do you know what brand?
I don't know, but I may find out before this posts. He uses a lot, and he uses a lot of just seasoning. Period, like salt. He uses a lot of salt.
Yeah.
So many chefs use a whole
A lot of salt. They're into salt. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, how do you make something taste really good? You got a insane amount of fat and a lot of sodium. And
Yeah.
something's going to
Yeah.
taste pretty good.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Exactly.
So, I do olive oil tastings. I teach at the California State Fair in the summertime, and I do at home and at people's homes and at the library. I'll do classes. So I bring olive oils and I have people taste. And once I tell them everything, because people hold on to their olive oil like it's wine. They'll hold
that's what
on
we
to it
talked
for
about.
like
Yeah.
a year or
And
two.
don't do that.
No, you need to finish your
Just get
bottle
through
in
it.
3 months
Why do they sell such large quantities then on like personal consumers?
because people will buy
Because they
them.
don't care. Yeah.
People go to Costco and they buy
Yeah.
tons of toilet paper and a
Yeah.
big old bottle of olive oil. But unless you're going to share it with someone or you're going to
use a
use
lot.
it within 3 months,
We buy the big one, and we definitely use it within 3 months.
you do really?
Yeah, we use a lot. Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, we use a lot.
Can I ask where you get it from? Are you a
Costco, he
Costco?
said.
Just
Yeah,
at
he said
Costco.
Costco.
Yeah.
He said he read an article that Costco was decent. Is it?
Yeah, no.
No, not anymore.
I don't think so. I mean, I think the California one, the Kirkland California one is good. And if you buy, I think it's too late. I forgot to look. I was just there yesterday and I forgot to look. If you buy California Olive Ranch, the Olio Nuovo, which is the first harvest, the very first, that's really good.
That's good.
And you can buy that in a biggish container, and that's a good one to get.
At the end of the day, though, isn't it what if you like it, you like it or no? I mean, kind of, right? Like wine. Like I like this fucking boxed wine, and every wine snob's going to tell me I'm an idiot.
Right.
But like I like how this tastes, bro, and it's $10.
Well, as long as it's truly extra virgin, then you can have whatever you want.
Yeah.
Some people like a milder, buttery one. I really like it grassy and green and pungent and bitter. I like to taste that.
Yeah.
That's my favorite taste. And I cook with it all the time, and I don't have a problem with it. I don't always buy it because I have to usually go to the producer or to other places, not the supermarket. The supermarket's a little milder because people like milder olive oil.
Right. Just a side note on that. Like,
Yeah.
you can't buy sourdough that's as sour in
Right.
the valley as you
I
can
bet.
in San Francisco.
In the city, yeah, it's totally different.
Yeah. People really like very sour
I kind of like a sourdough.
I love sourdough, but really, if it's not from San Francisco, it's not the same.
Did they
the same
invent the
thing.
sourdough?
They
did.
They definitely popularized
Somebody
it.
just told me something. Connor, did you tell me something about something being invented in San Francisco?
It's not correct.
What, sourdough isn't, or you were wrong?
Oh.
Liars.
Caesar salad.
Oh, the Caesar salad. That's what you told me. He said the Caesar salad was invented in San Francisco. I said,
No, it
that's
wasn't.
amazing. Where's it
No, it
invented?
wasn't.
What do you know?
I think it was invented at Caesar's in Las Vegas.
No.
That neither. New York.
Mexico, like
Mexico.
super far or super long.
Mexico.
I thought it was New York.
Why is it called Caesar?
Cesar.
Yeah, but you think Caesar, you think
Well,
Rome.
without
I
an
think
A,
Italian.
without-
And when you think where do you get a Caesar? Italian places, not Mexican restaurants.
Yeah. Yeah, Connor.
Okay, so, well, it was at a resort though, right?
check your
Oh, isn't that the deal?
check your resources, Connor.
The internet's
I
a
don't
bunch
know.
of liars. You guys are all fake out there.
I always just this is terrible, but I always think of the big pepper grinder.
Yeah.
And the reason it was named that.
What's it called?
The pepper grinder?
Yeah.
It has a name?
Ruby Rosa.
Oh, I don't know.
What?
Yeah. We'll do that as another episode.
I don't know
So
about
fortune
pepper
cookies were created in San Francisco.
Fortune
Yeah.
cookie?
Fortune cookies
by
are
like
San Francisco.
Chinese immigrants or something?
And
That makes
It's
sense. It's for sure.
Oh, it's yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
It's for sure.
Playland by the Sea.
Yeah.
I would love an it's it right now.
All right. Are we missing anything about olive oil?
Wrap it up. What you got?
No, just be careful of the label. Look for certified extra virgin.
Consume it faster than you
Consume
think.
it faster. It'll last a year in the bottle if it's
Not open.
not opened, if it's in a cool, dark place, light, time.
Not refrigerated though.
Well, there's all kinds of theories about that. Some people like their olive oil in refrigerator, but taking it in and out of the refrigerator can cause condensation in the bottle, which will bring water, and then your bottle will go rancid really fast. But if you're going on vacation for a month, you can put it in there one time and take it out and then be done with it. But putting it in and out is not, and it does solidify in the fridge, but it's not a big deal. But yeah, look for the certification and meet your producer, and all the studies that are out on the health benefits of olive oil, they talk about 3 to 4 tablespoons of olive oil a day. That's about what the Greek do. The Italians are almost there. So how do you do that? In the mornings, if you drink water, I drink water with half a lemon and a tablespoon of olive oil.
No,
warm
thanks.
water. I chug that down. Whenever you cook with olive oil. There's nothing wrong with cooking with olive oil. And then when you're done, drizzle a little olive oil on top. If you eat salads, really put in that olive oil. And you could do 3 tablespoons easily, and that's great for health benefits. There's a great book out that's called The 7 Wonders of Olive Oil, and it talks about all the benefits in 7 different diseases. It was written by 2 ladies in France. So, yeah, healthy, good for you, yummy. Bake with it. I bake with it all the time.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah, I've done that before. We've done
Yeah.
that before, but not routinely. So that's a good idea.
Yeah, you can replace butter. So it's 3/4 to 1. So quantities. So less olive oil than
Butter.
3/4 olive oil.
And just replace
to-
any recipe?
Yep.
Oh,
I mean, I can taste it in some recipes, but most of the time, I can always taste it in mixes. So don't do cake mixes with olive oil. I always can taste something off.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're baking from scratch, absolutely.
You got a blog with some cooking and olive oil and things, Mom. Where can people find you?
Well, I haven't blogged in a while since I've moved, but I'm starting up again because I'm all excited about new olive oil recipes. And the blog's called therenaissancekitchen.com.
RenaissanceKitchen.com.
And
Renaissance.
And
Renaissance
Instagram,
Kitchen.
also the Renaissance Kitchen.
That's me.
All right. Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mike.
Bye,
Thanks,
Mom.
Jim.
Thank you.
Catch you in the next one. Give us a rating and review. Share it with your friends. And if you guys tweet us, we'll be sure to retweet. Also, let us know who you want us to have on the show or what topics you want us to cover. Look forward to it. I'm Silent Mike, Instagram and Twitter.
I am the Jim McD on everything, and we'll see you next time.
Bye. Good job, Mom.